Welcome, Filipinas, and in this video we'll be exploring the power of goals. Now, in one study of the most successful human beings throughout history, meaning the people who accomplished the most, who changed their personal or the global environment to be closer to their desires, that one thing that all of these different people had in common, Filipinos, Japanese, Americans, Dutch, Australians, people who had achieved enormous success had clearly defined written goals. So first of all, let's look at what that is, because if most of the people throughout history who are most successful have clearly defined written goals, and you want to be successful, then you want to learn from the people who have already developed the technology of success. So let's look at what a clearly defined written goal is. So clearly defined written goal. Clearly defined. What do you want to happen? Right? How much money do you want to make? How many dogs do you want to own? How many hectares do you want to develop? What grade do you want to get in school? What exactly do you want to have happen? That's the first part of clearly defined. The second is, when do you want it to happen by? Tomorrow, next year, the year after that? Now, a goal is different than a fantasy. Meaning, you can say that you want to be the richest person on earth today. Do you believe it? No. Is it happening? No. Is there anything you can do to make it happen? No. It's a fantasy. There's no connection with reality. A goal is something that you believe is possible and that you take disciplined action to make probable, to make actual, and that you're moving in that direction, right? So what is it? When do you want it to happen by? And what do you want it to feel like? What do you want to feel when you achieve that goal? What's the feeling? So that's the definition. So clearly defined. Written, that means you must write down what your goal is. Now, you can write it in an email and send the email to yourself. And then in your inbox, you can look at it from time to time. These are my goals. Right? You can create a free Google document, type it in that, and in your Google account, my goals. Now, you can have goals for a lifetime. That's a good one. You can have goals, things to do before I die. You can have goals for 10 years. That's a good one. You can have goals for 5 years. You can have goals for 1 year. You can have goals for 3 months. You can have goals for 1 month. You can have goals for 1 week. And you can have goals that I want to do today. I usually focus on long-term goals, maybe 5-year goals, then 1-year goals, then monthly goals, and then weekly goals. Sometimes I just do yearly goals and weekly goals. So you want to write them down clearly. You then want to review them, remind yourself what your goals are, and update them if they change. Right? Now, this is an important thing. It's very important to have a clearly defined written goal, but some goals are not good to happen. What I mean by that is, let's say that I have a goal to buy a red Porsche for $31,000 by the end of the year. So I want to buy a red Porsche for $31,000 by the end of the year. And so I have to start saving money. I have to start looking at cars. I have to go drive around, look at cars. Let's say that's my goal. Well, imagine that I visit a Tesla dealership and I drive a Model X electric car. And I realize I like this car more than I like the red Porsche, and I can get the Model X in red. And if I get a used one, I can also, do that for $31,000. I think that. So then, do you still go ahead and buy the Porsche? No, right? As soon as you realize that there's a better goal, something you want more because you have more experience, more knowledge, and a new opportunity has come your way, you don't still continue to pursue the old goal. You let that down, you delete that, and you write a note. I've deleted this goal because this is a better goal. As you grow, as your knowledge expands, as you get new opportunities, hopefully your goals will get better. And before you thought this was a good idea, now you think this is a good idea. So it's not a failure to learn that you would like something else better. You just have to write a note about why, and then put the new goal in its place. So I started writing down my goals after reading a book when I was 14 years old. The book was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You can probably find the audio version of the book on YouTube and listen for free unabridged. It's one of the most powerful books ever written. It changed my life in many positive ways. And that is the power of a book. And one of the reasons that I started writing books was I wanted to help other people to change their lives in the way that my life changed when I read Napoleon Hill's book, right? This is a very simple, small book. You can get it on Amazon for around 1,000 pesos. But if you want to fill out the form below, I will give you a digital copy of this book for free as my gift for your effort to write down and share a few goals. So in the form below this video, you can submit a couple of goals, and this will be my gift to you. And I wanted to write this book because there were many choices that I made that increased the quality of my life, that improved my happiness, my success. And what's important is not just making a choice, but understanding why you're making it. And so that's why I wrote this book. And one of the choices that I made was the choice to start writing down my goals, which I did at age 14. Now, one of my goals was to write that book. That was the first book that I ever wrote, and I've subsequently written 20 books, right, by having a goal. I'm working on a book right now. By having a goal and writing it down and then taking action every day, what I discovered is that my success went up 400%. Not just double, not triple, 4 times. It would be as if I was making 1,000 pesos a day, and then I started writing down clearly defined written goals, and then I was making 4,000 pesos a day. Now, if you experience that, like I was 14 years old, I was amazed, right? Because I read that successful people had clearly written goals. So I wanted to be successful, so I started writing clearly written goals. And then when my success exploded, when my days, when my weeks, when my months, when my years were 400% more successful, it was very exciting. And I wanted to share those types of tips with people in my book, right? So I'm a big believer. Once I discovered that I can be 4 times as successful and that writing goals is free, right? You don't have to pay 1,000,000 pesos to write down your goals. Now, writing down goals has made me millions and millions and millions of pesos, right? It's made me millions and millions of US dollars. But to write down the goal is free. It only takes 5 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, to write one's goals for the day, to write one's goals for the week, to write one's goals for the month, to write one's goals for the year. An hour to write the goals for the year, 20 minutes to write the goals for the month, 5 minutes to write the goals for each day. So it's free. Anyone can do it, but your success goes up. Now, it doesn't automatically go up 400%. The reason it went up 400% is as soon as I had clearly written goals, I started taking action, right? I would set an alarm. Okay, it's time to read this book, and I would read for 20 minutes a day, right? It's time to go for my my exercise routine, and I would go do that. So I would set an alarm and take action so that every day I was moving closer to my goals, right? So I want you to be successful, number one. Number two, as Filipina mothers, I want your children to be successful. And Filipina children copy their parents, right? If their parents don't write goals, they don't write goals, right? If their parents don't study, they don't study, right? So I not only want you to do this for you, I want you to do it out of love for your country, for your children, for their future, to sit down and write goals. And anyone that's older than age 10, right, they can start to write goals as well. It can be a family bonding. You can share certain goals. If your family is not supportive, then keep them private. If your family laughs at your goals, keep them private. But work on them day after day after day. Most of the successful people that I've learned about, talked with, and read, their parents were not successful. Many people laughed at them. Many people discouraged them. But they just stayed focused and focused and focused. And gradually, month after month, their life got better and better and better.